Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel Coding with Colton, and today we are going to be talking about the data visualization section of FreeCodeCamp. I completed this section well over a year ago, but I wanted to come back and just share my experience with doing this section and just talk about what the value is and a lot of other things. So data visualization, as you can see right here, it's just basically, visualizing data. Most of the projects they have you do are kind of more like scatter plot type of graphs, and you do a few bar charts. But it's basically 5 projects that you complete, and all they give you is a user story, and this is actually the final project, actually the 4th project that they have you build. So there's some cool things that you can do with data visualization. And if we jump here, we can see here on FreeCodeCamp, this is the section. They say it takes about 300 hours to do this. I don't think it quite takes that long, at least it didn't for me, but there are a few things that you might hit that could be a little bit of a snafu. The first 3 projects, honestly, are pretty easy. They have you do like a bar chart, scatter plot, heat map. Those are all good. And I think these skills, especially like being able to do bar charts and stuff like that, is valuable to like on your projects if you want a dashboard and you want to graph like finance data or something, like that's useful. If you were to go on Indeed, in my area, I'm in Salt Lake area, Utah, and search for how many companies are actually looking for D3 skills, usually I find between 5 and 10 if I were to jump on like Indeed. And if I were to go look up like, how many companies are looking for example, like just JavaScript skills, it's between 700 and 900. Or if I was to look up like WordPress, um, companies, maybe between 90 and 120 job listings will pop up. So D3, like it is a valuable skill, but for how much time it takes to do this, like honestly, I don't know like if it's worth doing like all the projects because these last 2 are really tricky. But the first 2 or 3 honestly don't take that long, and you can kind of get the feel for what data visualization is and what you can do with it, and not have to spend that long. So I'll let you be the judge. But all they basically do is give you a user story. If you're familiar with FreeCodeCamp, this will be familiar to you. These projects don't take a ton of code, but they do take a lot of time for you to kind of just like mentally wrap your mind around like what everything is doing, and just getting it to look nice. The projects that I would like to show you guys, let me pull up my portfolio here. You guys can see all the projects that I have on here. Have some of my D3s. This is what the bar chart looks like. Pretty straightforward. Just got some GDP numbers here. The scatter plot graph. We got scatter plot graph of doping for bicycling. So that's the second project that you do. And again, those projects are pretty simple and straightforward. Heat map. This one wasn't too bad either. This is like just surface temperature on Earth. And these last 2 though, the Coropleth map and the tree map, actually are quite tricky to do, especially this one because the instructions that FreeCodeCamp gives you doesn't really cover some of the things that you need to know. Like I didn't know that I had to use a topo JSON version of D3 to get this to render. So it took me forever to figure that out because it's not in the instructions. So if you're stuck, hopefully this will help you on that if you're trying to get that done. But yeah, this was probably the trickiest project that I had to do, mostly because of that. I think it looks cool, but definitely takes some time to figure that out. And then the last project is a tree map diagram. This was probably my favorite project to do. I just thought it was fun, just basically showing video game sales and the proportions of different systems. So yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. You do know enough on, I think, the FreeCodeCamp modules where they talk about, um, they have a learning section, kind of about like how D3 works and stuff like that, kind of like up here, right here. We talk about D3 and stuff. So it can be a little bit tricky to kind of get the hang of it, but it's very, very doable. But that's my experience working with this section of FreeCodeCamp. Hopefully it has helped you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Again, this was Coding with Colton.